two dates in GitHub. We have an author date and a commit date. Author date is to note down when the actual commit or to track when the actual files were written, and the commit date is to track the latest time when the commit was made. So you can make a commit uh, 1 month ago. You can create a file 1 month ago, make a commit then, and the author date is then tracked as 1 month ago. It doesn't matter when you create the file, but your first commit would mostly be your author date. It is almost rare that your author date precedes your first commit date. So your author date can be taken as your first commit date, the first time that the author committed it, the first owner. And then the person who commits it first can also be considered as the first owner. And then the commit date is the date that tracks the latest point when the commit was amended. If you have not amended the commit at any point, then your author date would be the same as your commit date. So let me show it. Here, wow, are you guys able to hear me? So in order to get a descriptive log, you have to use the fact minus minus pretty folder. So if you see over here, this particular commit with this particular message was author was made by the author on 4th of October, Saturday, at this time, and that was when the commit was also made, which is when it was registered as author date. If I change this commit again, then the commit date is going to change. Let me show you that. I written in my blog. If you want to know more about it, you can go there. Yeah. So here you can change the commit date using the git committed date environment variable, which is set. So here I have a commit which has author date of September 12th and a commit date also of September 12th. So we can think of this as the first uh, commit that was made. But if I use the git committed date and modify the date to some other date, then commit the same thing. Uh, okay, so this is the first commit. This is now the same commit. I'm making a new commit called as readme update. This was blog add. This is a readme update and on a different date. But okay, when was this made? Mm, okay, anyways, by the time I made it, it's already after September, right? So I'm going to make a new commit which is September 13th. And if you see after changing the git committed date in the new one, you can see as the author date was September 20th, meaning the file was created and the first commit was made at September 30th, but then amends were made or commits changed, and then the new update is September 13th. Now the case over here is that the commit date precedes the author date, which shouldn't be possible because the author date is when the file was first created, when the file was made by the owner. Is what it represents. That's not what happens literally. It actually takes the first commit date sort of. But here you can see that the commit date, meaning the last modified date is preceding the first creation date. So this is something that happens when you use this git committed date, which actually changes the date for the particular commit. Now, how is this useful? Not actually useful, but you can actually change this to show that you have made a commit a long time ago. So let's see. This was in my site. in my site, I had made this core readme update, author date on 20th, and the commit date was September 3rd. Okay, 6D21. So let's check out 6D21 over here. It's going to be on September 20th, and there is no 6D21 on September 20, which should have been, right? So September 13th, we have a 6D21, right? So as you can see, you can make your commits predate if you want to show someone that you have worked on this before, but you know the author date would be something when you actually worked on it. And so maybe that is the reason why GitHub charts actually use the author date to track your contribution graph. All these dates over here, they are not commit dates, they're tracked by the author dates. So if you see 45 contributions on August 23rd, this is not my commit dates. This is my author dates, which in this case is the same as my commit dates. That was when the file was push created and the commit also happened. There are no other modifications made to that. And so if you see, this is 23rd, I have so many commits, almost 45 commits. So these are all those 45 commits. But now let's say I want to change the author date and show as if I actually started the file over here, but my final commit might be on 23rd. But I can do that as well. Let's try that. So here a few commits you can see over here as the commit that were made afterwards, right? So this log wise, I can't prove it right now because I can't prove it literally, but you have to believe in this log format. The one that's shown top would be the latest one, the one that's shown the bottom would be older one. So I actually did change the commit using get commit minus minus date. So this is how you can change the author date. Alright, so I did that, and for the commits on August 23rd, these are few commits, but these are surely not 45 commits. These are very few commits. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 commits mostly. So all the other commits that I started were changed. So if you see the author date over here is October 3rd, well the commit date is October 4th, meaning on 4th I made a commit where said that the author date was 3rd. This is not something that I intended. I thought the commit date would remain the same, only the author date would change. But every commit you make is taken into this commit dates track, and that is being considered. So even when you do git commit minus minus date, this is taken as a modification. This is taken as an amendment. When you do this, it's been recorded. So when you go to the timeline of commits, you're going to see a lot of commits on October 4th, right? On October 4th, you're going to see a lot of commits, as much as we saw before in the contribution graph for August 23rd. And that is being shown in the commits timeline, but for everything else, it's not the same. Because if you see October 4th, it says September 29th over here, September 28th over here, 25th over here, 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st over here. I did all these things. I changed those dates. I wrote a script for that to automate changing these dates on August 23rd, a few of them, because all of these dates were where my graph was empty, like September, yeah, 21st, September 29th, September 28th. So I wanted to fill this graph so that it looks good. Now this beats the point, right? Yeah, it doesn't support in lead code though, but it does support in GitHub. In lead code, it doesn't consider what you save in your local system. It takes from the server. Your submissions are taken from the server. But here in GitHub, that's not the way. It takes directly from your commits. So you have your commits on a local system, and so you can modify them, right? So I change this now and post it, so you're not able to see it. But once I do that, my graph, which looks like this, will be pretty greenish. Let's push. And it's not just side, there are a few others that I need to push as well. And few are on my PC. Is that it? Okay, there's one more. Yeah, so these are some of the Git repositories which are modified in order to fill the uh, empty slots in my contribution graph. Let's fill those. And I'm doing for sure here because we have rewritten the history, kind of like a rebase. So it needs to understand that, and it needs to say that, okay, we have no problem even if I have rewritten the rebase. That's the reason why we use the -f flag to force it. If you don't force it, then it's going to take that as a modification, take it as a conflict. But when you force it, whatever history you have, the same history tree of your branch is pushed to your remote server, which in this case is GitHub. This is taking too long. I better put some memes or something at this point. I don't know, the video is getting too long. I don't know for what. Okay, this actually was a kind of demonstration to the definition of hack, which I explained over here what hack means. As a beginner, this is my point of view. Everything that you see over here is in my humble opinion. This is what I think about hack is, doing something that wasn't intended to do in the first place, which is not always wrong, or doing something that is not something that wasn't even intended, but it was not even thought that could be done for this, or something that wasn't purposed to be done in some way by the creators. Right? You can use some things to do things in some other way, which is not even intended, not even forcing, not even purposed by its original creators or whoever is using it at this point or maintaining it. Yeah, so that can be think as a high because I'm pretty sure that uh, GitHub people who made GitHub didn't want it to be like this because that way you can easily cheat on a GitHub graph and it would make no sense to check out the GitHub graph since everything will be filled like this. Okay, so there are some mistakes I need to see where they are not committed because this was an automation script. Um, okay, let me come out clean in front of you guys. My automation script actually didn't work. I lied to you. I had to do it by myself because the rebase and others weren't working. So this is what happens when you do manually, right? You find holes. But if you do it using a script, you don't. This is my first video, so this is why it's taking so long. But I think it's okay, right? Uh, yeah, that's it. So this is how we can make a GitHub chat screen. Now anyone. Okay, it says 56 contributions made on August 3rd. Okay, this is because your GitHub not only tracks the old ones but the new ones as well. Okay, so the git committed date is the amends that we made, right? Let me open this. And pretty much over October 4th. Okay, it's not actually opening those. It's opening a different one. It's just opening my repository. I have to go and check again. Alright, October 4th. So all these are something that I actually made yesterday, and the author date was also yesterday. Oh yeah, as you can see over here, on October 4th, it says 8 contributions. That's a graph for you guys. It says 8 contributions, but you can see that there are more than 8 over here, way more. All the things that we did on August 23rd and amended is all added to this point. but in the graph on October 4th it just showed 8, and on October 23rd it says 56, which is not the case. Let's see that, because we have amended over here. So if you see, if you take the log, yeah, I'm sorry, this is only 11 or something like that. The others over here, October 4th, their commit date is October 4th, so they need to be tracked on October 4th, which is what is being tracked also. So, right, it is tracked on October 4th itself. This is October 4th. These commits are made on October 4th, is what I wanted to show, and that's why it's being showed. But, yeah, since it's shown like that, October 4th, the actual authors from 23rd would now not exist. Let's check. 20. And we're already in July. Yeah, August 20th. Plus the commits are drastically reduced. October 4th, August 22nd, August 21st. Okay. Oh wow. Oh wow. The way this is showing the commits over here is totally gone, because it doesn't even have October 4th and then directly August 22nd. Okay, this is because I didn't. Okay, wait, let me see why this is happening. 21st, 22nd, and this 23rd. Okay, this is not 23rd at all. Okay, this is a mess up. Maybe it might be somewhere further down into the history. That might be a case, but you guys get the point, right? The way you see your history is totally flabbergasted in your GitHub, but you do see them properly over here in your local machine. It's very difficult to figure out what you had done from the GitHub, but you get to see those dates over here traced down. Like there are a few commits that are still made on October 23rd, and the contribution graph is totally different. It doesn't check your commit dates, it checks your author dates, and your author dates show this way. And there were a lot of commits that were not authored on August 23rd as much as it's shown over here. It's not 56. I didn't author 56 commits in on August 23rd, but why does it show 56 over here? Maybe because it's double tracing them. Maybe there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10 commits that are authored, but it shows 56. Maybe because it's also reading these dates that are tracked by author dates. So the author date's latest date is Friday, October 3rd, but there was once a time when this author date was also August 23rd, right? So maybe it's tracking that as well. I have no idea, but I think we have got a point. So this is something that you can ponder on. I really don't have time to go down into this. You can do that. If you do that, please let me know. Hit my socials. I'll give you my link to my socials over here. Just come to this site and you have socials. You can comment or find me at this place and just talk to me. Maybe push it on X, or maybe mail to me, or write it on Instagram. Yeah.
バカなの死ぬののど自慢大会じゃねえんだよ。アイドルアクセルコントル夢を売るある。はい、ちょっと待って。勝手にある混ぜんのやめてもらえる？神楽歌詞台無しだから。